Hi, this is Kathleen from My Happy Place, and I'm going to show you today how to make this origami box. Very cute, very fun to hold different treats in. So let me show you how. You're going to start out with a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. I already have this one cut down. You want to cut it to 11 7/8 by 8 3/4. And then what you're going to do is score it. So I like to use my paper cutter and take the cutting tool out. And then you're going to start by putting the less wide, the 8 3/4 edge up against the top of your paper cutter. And you want to score this at 2 7/8. So find your 2 7/8 mark. And 5 7/8. So you need to pull out the arm on the side with this kind of paper cutter to find your 5 7/8. Okay, next you're going to turn it and you're going to score it along this edge at 1 1/2 and at 4 1/2. And you're going to do the same from the other side. So again, turn it around and score it at 1 1/2 and at 4 1/2. These measurements will be on my blog at myhappyplace.typepad.com, so if you didn't catch them, you'll find them there. Next, you're going to take and go along the 2 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to score just from the top of the cardstock down to this middle score line. So you want to stop there. And then I find it harder to kind of come down here and find my spot, so I'm going to turn it backwards and do the same thing. Score from the top down to this middle score line. And you're going to do that same thing on the other edge. Go 2 1/2 inches in and score down to that middle score line. Flip it over and score down to that middle score line. It won't matter that the score line isn't on the other side, because as you'll see in a moment, we're actually going to cut along that score line. So next I'm going to put my paper cutter, my cutting blade back in, and I'm going to cut along that score line just down to that middle line. And I find these little notches on the cutting blade helps me find my stop and start point. Okay, so pick it up, bring it down to the next score line, and slide it down. So now we've got a cut here and a cut there. Do the same thing along this edge, the 2 1/2 inch line that you scored. Pick it up, bring it down and cut it. Okay. Next, what I want to do is line it up along this score line, and we're going to cut. I'm going to fold it so you can see it better. Okay, we're going to cut from that first score line in through to the next score line in. So now what we've got, it kind of looks like some uneven shutters. We're going to do that same thing along the other edge, cutting through to make these kind of shutters. So we're leaving this middle section intact. We're cutting the next square in. Do the same thing on the bottom. Start along that first score line, slice across to the second score line. Again, you've got kind of those shutters going. Leave that middle square intact and cut again along that next square in. So this is what it should look like once you have everything cut and scored. So if this visual hopefully will help you with that. Alright, okay, next I'm going to set that aside. I have one already done where I went ahead and I folded along the score lines and gave a crisper fold with my bone folder. And I went ahead and put sticky strip along these two small flaps here. And I use sticky strip because it's extra double strength sticky tape. And that's what you need whenever you're having any of these boxes or three-dimensional projects that you need. Just they're going to have a little bit more wear and tear than your average card. so you need a stronger tape for them. So fold those in, matching them up with the edge of that cardstock. You've got your first kind of side of the box formed. Turn it over, peel the sticky strip off this side and this side. The red liner kind of is staticky, likes to stick, but okay, so fold it in, line it up along the cardstock edge, and your box is starting to take shape. Alright, I've already added sticky strip. Just pick one section, put tape on each side of these flaps, and then just bring the side of the boxes in. And smooth them together. So now you can see your box takes shape. This is your box. That's your general form of your box. Okay? So this is step 1 of the project. I'll be back with step 2.